Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to just do a quick video here and talk about how we're finally building out SOPs and processes and systematizing the agency. We're on the path from scaling from mid 6 figures up to 7 figures. And to do that, it comes down to people and processes. And I've just hired a full-time employee, hiring another about 20-hour-a-week employee. And before that, I've always had a part-time team and ad experts I've worked with, but making the jump to hiring full-time salaried employees is, I think, what it takes to go from mid 6 figures up to 7 figures. And part of that is there needs to be SOPs and processes to support these employees and these team members as the team grows. So one thing that is working well for us is I'm having my first full-time hire spend right now probably about 50% of his work time helping me organize these SOPs. So I'm good at creating the SOPs where I'll turn on Loom and talk through what I'm doing, create a quick spreadsheet, a quick checklist, and talk about how to do things. But I've never enjoyed actually like taking those and organizing them into folders, subfolders, categorized, labeling. So our first full-time hire and team member has been really effective in helping us do that. And we have just made a switch from using Basecamp, the project management software, into using Notion. And Notion is a really amazing tool for essentially making a team wiki, organizing SOPs, reference documents. We're still figuring out if we want to use it for task and project management, but it's going incredibly well for organizing our systems and SOPs. So I'm going to screen share and show you guys a little bit about how we're building our SOP system out. And again, this is about 2 weeks old. It's still in its beginning stages, but I think it's valuable to talk about how this is evolving. So I'm going to jump into my screen and let's look at that right now. So we have our homepage here for North Digital. So basically, we've divided this into team resources, so company visions, goals, meeting notes, recent press we've gotten. We have to-dos, which we may end up moving our to-dos to a different platform, but we're trying them in Notion for now. And then we have our client list here, so the master client list, client contact information, at a glance client KPIs, detailed KPI tracking. Then we have client files in here, which is where we have the reports, meeting notes, brand assets for every client. And what I want to jump into right now is the SOPs and reference info. So when we open this up, I basically divide this into 3 sections. So client management, team management. So this is like managing our internal team, onboarding, hiring processes, and then sales and prospecting. So right now I do all the sales and prospecting for this agency. I also do all the team management, but I'm in the process of offloading the client management to the team. So that's why we've started with building out SOPs in the client management first. So, and I would say this is probably about 50% done, and we have a long way to go. But basically what we've done is we built out a database with different SOPs here, and we can organize this by subcategories. So if I add let's see, I'm just going to organize this by subcategory. So basically we've divided this into client onboarding, client relationship management, client technical management, client reporting. Client reporting specific examples. So this client reporting is going to be about generally how we do reports. And then the client reporting specific examples goes through SOPs on this is how we do the report for this exact client, because we have slight differences between the clients. And the specific example SOPs are what we use to onboard our VAs to do the data entry required for the reports. Landing pages actually should not be in here. That should be under software. So that's a thing I will fix after this video. But let's say we do client onboarding, which is really a huge step. The takeaway here is that these are so far client onboarding SOPs, and these are things where as the team grows, as the account management team grows, they are not going to have to constantly come to me and ask me how to do things. We're going to have it here, and as problems come up, we're adding it. So for example, we use CallRail for phone call tracking. So what happens when CallRail doesn't have numbers in the client area code? And if we open up this page, then what we'll see here is a Loom video that I've recorded that is embedded into the page itself. It's going to be a little bit slow to load because I'm screen recording. And that SOP is right in here in the form of a Loom video. And let's see, setting up call tracking on the client's Google My Business account. So again, open this up, and we're going to have my Loom video on how to do that task, which will auto-populate right in here. So there it is, 4-minute video. And some of the bigger ones so some of them are more nuanced in details, like how to change the color of the landing page icons. One thing we do is we sync all our landing pages to match our client's branding. But this is more of a bigger one, like creating the Google Ads account, the Facebook Ads account for the client. So if we open that up, we're going to see, this should be a longer video going over that whole process. So there I am speaking, 18 minutes. And in this case, I think what we actually did for this video is our account manager and myself had done a Zoom call going over this. We simply recorded that call to the cloud. Then I had my account manager take that, put it into a Loom and attach it here. So again, he's doing the back-end work and I'm kind of creating the SOPs themselves. So this is just for the client onboarding. We also group it by software. So in this case, both of these SOPs are about CallRail, Google Ads, Photoshop, Unbounce, etc. So we can also just, if we want to see all the SOPs about CallRail, we can sort that way. So let's say if we filter, so there's client onboarding, client relationship management, which is a big piece, is, yeah, I mean, some of these are kind of funny to read. So this one is when a client calls randomly. So sometimes you'll just see a missed call from a client come in on my phone or the account manager's phone. And usually the correct thing I think to do is to not answer the call right away, take 20, 30 minutes, bring up that client's file and their dashboard. So then when you do call them back 20 minutes later, you have all the information in front of you, and probably they're going to be asking something like, hey, how are the ads going on? What's going on with this and that? And you can have quick answers rather than answering the phone and stumbling when they say, what was the cost per lead last week, when you're not going to have that in your head. So little things like that, we're documenting that and building that out so we can build a really robust and scalable system. And then we have more of our fundamental ones like the monthly client reporting, etc. Then yeah, other things are the reporting, onboarding, and then also the technical management is another big piece. So we have a lot of things in here. How to set up the Facebook lead ads, multiple different examples. We do a lot of the Facebook advertising policy, pixels, troubleshooting Facebook, and yeah, I've just been making this one here. So talking to Facebook support when an ad account gets disabled. For people that have run ads for a while, you know this is a big issue, and this actually ends up taking up a ton of time, and it's both an art and a science, and it changes a lot. So, you know, there's multiple Loom videos in here about what to do when that happens and how to effectively deal with Facebook support. So yeah, this is how we're beginning to systematize the agency and making this a robust process. So when we hire our next full-time account manager, we can just give them a week to look through all of these SOPs, and they're going to be ready to go, ready to hit the ground running. And that's how we can scale. So I don't have to personally train every new hire that we bring on moving forward. So I'll leave that that explanation there for now, guys. And let me know what you think of this type of video, just documenting what we're working on, how we're building this agency up to the 7 figures level, which is the goal. And yeah, I mentioned in a previous video, I think it's really valuable to document the process and not only talk about things once you've achieved your goal, once you've built the agency to 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever your goal is. There's so much value in talking about it as you're building it. And I imagine that a year from now, you know, I'll look back on this video and probably our SOPs will be different and updated and changed. This is, again, 2 weeks into our process of building this out. But yeah, I think it's valuable to document as you go. And I hope this helps you guys who, this video is probably relevant to someone who's already making about $10,000 a month in revenue and wants to scale up more efficiently. Then you can start building these systems out. And it gets more fun when you start building these out because it's less about working in the business, more about working on the business, and you're building this self-sustaining, growing thing that eventually is going to be able to run without you being there involved in the day-to-day, which is really the dream. So I'll leave that there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And until next time, I will see you guys later.